Hi there, and welcome to Choice Boards for Elementary. So hopefully you got a chance to take a look at the slides there on that virtual PD board. So feel free to click on there, but it's also down below using that shortened link, that bit.ly. Be sure it is case sensitive. The E and the C are both capitalized. So I'm Lauren Hawkins. If we haven't gotten a chance to meet yet, I work on the I team. I work with the Richardson Learning Community. So if I haven't gotten a chance to meet you, that might be why. Really quick, if you haven't ever made a copy of some slides before, I really want to be sure you get a chance to do that. So on here, you'll come all the way over to File, and then you'll see Make a Copy. And you can choose whether you want the entire presentation or just the selected slides, but I thought that way in case you wanted to see that. So on choice boards, the biggest thing is that they're really not going to be more or less work. It's just doing it a little bit of different work. And what really fascinates me about them is that they could be something super short, like a day activity. But for us, with all of this at-home learning, I think it could be really helpful to create a choice board that lasts for multiple days. And then really having kids take those same learning goals that you would have them do in class, but kind of reinvent them a little bit, where your activities are more customized for your students. So what I have here is each of these articles are really short and brief, but it gives you a little bit more in-depth reasoning as to why these choice boards are really good to increase your student ownership, how to differentiate the learning, especially when we have such a diverse group of learners in all of our classes, but ultimately also how to engage our students. So each one of these, if you click on them, they're very short articles. So I wanted to at least give you a chance to look at those a little bit in depth. What you probably saw over here is the rocks and minerals. So this is a science chart. You can see that it's just using a chart paper, create your own anchor chart. Okay, do a diagram of a rock cycle, so you can see that it's still asking them to look at the objectives, but you're just doing them a little differently, and you're giving them some choice in how they want to learn the material and how they want to show you that they learned it. Tic-tac-toe tends to be the first option that teachers go with, simply because you take your objectives, you create these 9 tasks, and then you say, okay, the one in the middle, every student is going to have to do. And then the rest is however they want to learn, but it has to make 3 in a row, just like tic-tac-toe. So they can go all the way down, they can go all the way across, they can go diagonal, whatever works best. But it's a quick way to do it because they only have to create 3 different products, essentially, or show 3 ways of their learning. So that's helpful if your tasks may take a little bit longer, if your tasks may not be as brief, but it's a great kind of first step into it. So a couple tricks and tools of the trade. So what I like to think about is the verb when I'm coming to digitize some of these options for my students. So if digital is a choice that I'm willing, that I want my students to do. So if I'm wanting students to classify, or if I want them to sort different things, I'm going to look for Google Slides or Keynote, which is the PowerPoint version on the iPad. If I'm wanting students to create something, whether that's a web page, whether that's a poster or a graphic, okay, maybe I want them to do Adobe Spark, which we do have premium accounts, which is really nice. If I need them to record a video or create a commercial or do a trailer for a book or anything along those lines, I'm probably going to recommend Apple Clips or Keynote again, just because it's one of my faves, and you'll probably see why here shortly. A couple of things is when you are picking tools, if you're choosing to digitize a task, try to pick some quick to learn ones at the beginning, just so that students really understand and focus on the content and don't get too caught up in the technology, because again, your content is the star. You never want your technology to overshadow that. So I picked 3 that I think are just super quick to learn. None of them require a lot of setup. So Poplet is just a mind mapping option. All of here. If you ever need to search, you can just drop down Poplet. So this is kind of an example of a Poplet. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. This one is just looking at shapes. Whenever you're ready to add more, you just have to tap, and then you can move all of these around. You can see I'm resizing them, kind of whatever I need to do. If you double tap, you'll get another bubble. And again, I can connect them to all the different ways. I can draw, I can drop in a text, but it's super easy. That's what I really love. And you can even have them change the differences going around there. So put everything in red that does this, put everything in yellow that does this. So that's one of the options that I really like. Quizzes is another one. It's basically a way to assign quick assessments to students. They join with a code. It's very quick. What I love about quizzes is the website actually has ones that are pre-made that you can borrow, and you can pick and choose different questions from what other teachers have already made. So it's definitely a resource I highly recommend. Whenever you choose to log in, you can actually log in with Google. You can see I already have made an account previously, but you can always log in with Google. And then it'll take you to your admin board. And so you can see people have even done the first staff development. You can see equivalent fractions. You can see how many questions, how many times they were played. Really likes to sort everything out. So let's say I want to do something on equivalent fractions. Okay, I think I like a lot of these questions, but maybe I don't like all of these questions. So you can play and assign. You can also do a solo practice. You can share it with a neighbor, which is also really nice. I'm going to click on edit. So it'll create a duplicate, and then you can go in and remove the questions that you don't like. So I don't really like this question. I'm going to just get rid of that one. You can also see that you can align to standards, and then you can import from a spreadsheet as well. So if you have that. When you create a new question, it'll pop up here. You see you have media options. You can add images. You can choose, is it multiple select? So choose all of the following that are equivalent to. You can also attach a time. You can also turn the timers off, which is really helpful for some of our learners, especially those that may struggle with dyslexia or our ELL learners. So being sure to make those accommodations for all of our learners, that maybe they're not as quick, but that doesn't mean they're not as fast at math just because they're not quick at math. They just might be thinking more deeply. The teleport option allows you to pull from someone else's quiz. That's a good one. Let me add that one. So that's quizzes. It's super quick, really easy to share with kids. They just join with a code. Chatterpix is the other one that again, it's one of things that I really like. Kids can take a drawing that they already have, which makes it super easy. And it'll say duck, duck, moose. Go ahead and rotate this a little bit more for you guys. So this one, what it'll do, sorry, there we go. If it decides to pull up, is students are going to take a picture of something they've already drawn on a piece of paper, snap it with here, assuming that, let's see, there we are. So I'm going to take a photo. I want to hit OK. Yes, I want to access I'm going to turn this around. Let's say I'm going to take a photo of this. Snap. Okay, now I'm going to draw a line for the mouth. And then, yes, I want to access my camera. So it gives me a quick little countdown. Hello, here is looks like a rectangle. My rectangle has 4 sides. It has 4 right angles. It is almost like a square, but not. It's definitely a quadrilateral. It is a parallelogram. And then I can see what it looks like. And then I'm done. I can hit next, and I can add frames. I can add text. Very cool. I can add stickers. I could add filters. Lots of good stuff. And then I'll hit next. And then you'll see the save to camera roll over there by the play button. And then all they need to do is upload it to Google Classroom, to Seesaw, wherever they want to share it to. But Chatterpix, it's super easy. Obviously not a lot of work put on the kids. Biggest thing is, do not be afraid to repeat tools. If there is something that you want to use, feel free to use Chatterpix on every menu. Feel free to use it for 2 different tasks. It's okay. My favorite thing is this menu that Morgan Cave, also from the iTeam, created. So she created a general task list so that the kids always used the same apps. They weren't constantly changing and rotating between things, so they didn't feel completely lost. So what she did is just listed 3 objectives from her current unit, things that she wanted the kids to show that they understood. And then she said, I don't care how you show your learning, but you're going to use one of these 9 tools to do it. And each of them had something a little bit different. So they could make presentations. You could see Chatterpix is on there again. They could do a movie. They could do an annotating and drawing. So you've got draw and tell. You have a mind map. So it was really, really nice that she encouraged her kids really just to show what they know. She didn't care, necessarily how they did it. But that's a really easy option for kids because all you have to do is come up with 3 things you want them to show. Done. The rest of the work is on them. No templates on your part, none of the sort. So, biggest thing that I want to make sure that you had before you left today are these free templates. So what I've done, if you click on this slide right here and you'll click one more time, it'll ask you if you'd like to make a copy. Please feel free to actually make a copy. So what this is going to do is it's going to put your own, you guessed it, copy in your own Google Drive for you to edit and make some changes and kind of work with it. So in this copy, you're going to have 3 templates built out, each with some directions to guide you because they are all a little bit different. What I also did to kind of help you is I pulled some app icons already, so you don't need to go and spend the time trying to make it look a certain way. You can focus really on your content because that's the biggest thing right now is focusing on our content. So you can see I pulled some of the apps already there. Padlet's a great one. You have Clips, you have Chatterpix, you can see all the Adobe Sparks, things like that, and kind of which ones that I like. And then on here, you'll see double click to edit. So what I did here is I created something called a word art. If you don't know, it's very fun. It helps you get outlines to your text. But all you have to do is click on it and then double click, and then you'll have that text bubble that you can edit. And then here, this is kind of where you can type in all your different directions, type your different options, and then you can just click and drag these icons from the sidebar and you can drag them over. So if you want to do an Adobe Spark for that one. Very nice. The other option is to create kind of a diner menu. So diner menus are really nice simply because you can scaffold the material. So you can have some quick pre-assessments, some quick starters, the main dishes. Okay, I really need to make sure you know this. And then your desserts or your extension pieces. If you aren't running a Google Classroom or a Seesaw, you can always use a Google form for students to attach all of their products to, because that way all their products are in one spreadsheet. Makes it really easy to find everything instead of them like emailing and constantly putting in Seesaw. So that's an option. I went ahead and put these math manipulatives down here as well, just because I have a soft spot for math teachers, and so these are some really, really nice apps that our kids have access to. So you can see that there's number frames. So if you're looking at a 10 frame, you can pull different chips over. You can make 5, 2, and there's even a pen so that I can say, okay, there's 2 plus, and you can change the different colors. So here's right here. So I'm making my number sentences. You also have different shapes as well, which can be really fun. So if kids want to make a word problem, this could be a really fun way to do it. So they could put all of this together, take a screenshot, put it in Seesaw if you're using that, and then have them record their thinking. So again, not any work on your end, mostly work on their end. I love the fraction one because I can actually color things in. So here's that, and then I can add another one. So maybe I want to do it in 2 and I still want to color it. And then what I love about this is I can overlap it so I can see that these are equivalent fractions. And again, I can always draw. I can do this, or I can also draw. So here's 2 parts out of 4. And again, take a screenshot, drop it into another app. It's very, very friendly. But those are just some definite some choices that I highly recommend. You also have coins in here, money pieces, geoboards, number lines. That's a big thing. The math clock, second grade, that is fantastic for elapsed time, because again, they can overlap and they can draw on top of the clock. Very helpful. Pattern shapes, so 10 enneagrams, definitely great for a geometry unit. Your pieces and your basic sets, your base 10 blocks, yes, they have that already, so definitely something worth investigating as an option. And then the last one is your tic-tac-toe board. So again, maybe there's 3 in a row, maybe there's things like that. So my plan is hopefully for you to kind of take one of these menus if you feel like these are going to fit for your students, and actually try to create something. Again, keep your tasks very broad. They don't need to be anything too terribly crazy. So if I wanted to do, so I could say, maybe I want them to use the number frames to write a word problem. So I could say create a word problem using a 10 frame. Choose any animal. And then screenshot and send to Seesaw. Add, and so they can add recording if they want to, and that could be part of the assignment. So again, if you're already using Seesaw, that might be in part of the direction. So how to submit everything to Seesaw. So I maybe can come down here. So how to submit, share to Seesaw, add voice recording to share thinking. So maybe that's just part of the directions for them, is they always take their screenshots and they send it to Seesaw. Okay, I've already got one task. Let me keep going. So, you can do that as well. But I thought that would be really fun. Please feel free to email if you do have any questions at all, because, that can always happen. I'm always happy to help. Anyone on the I-team is really happy to help. So the biggest thing that I also wanted to share is this board as well. And what I liked about this one is I tried to pull things that are easy for the kids to use, things that may take a little bit of time, and then things that would take the most time for them to learn, but they have the biggest bang for your buck. So you can see down here everything in green. So chatter picks, we got to explore pick collage and poplet, those and quizzes. Those are really easy for the kids to do. It's not a lot of onboarding for them. There's not going to be a lot of time that they're not going to understand. The things in yellow take a little bit more time, either on your end or on their part to learn, but is so worth it. I think it's really absolutely worth it. And then your top two, Adobe Spark and Keynote, will take the longest for them to learn, but they really have the biggest bang for your buck. Some things I did want to actually show you in both of those apps, if you haven't seen them before, I feel like you're missing out. So the first one I'll show you briefly is Clips before we leave. Obviously, I need to turn my airplane mode off. So, hello. So you can actually record. Here's my recording. Okay, let me pull from my library. Let's say I have a screenshot and I want to record my voice on top of that. Here's me recording on top of a screenshot. And then you have the filters. So you can even make it comic booky. You can do an aged film, so you can see where kids could have a lot of fun with this. Kids can add text on top. And now I can change it. Here are ... I can bring that down. I can pinch and zoom and resize it. I have so many different sticker choices. I have call outs. So maybe Chatterpix. I love this app. And then you also have emojis as well. So you can go back. See, I've been adding a bunch of stuff here. And then you can also add live titles, which isn't too bad. You have music, which is built in. So students don't actually need to go and download music. It's built in. So I think I like that one. Let's bring that in. Done. All right, now I've got music built in. I think I really like what I have here. You also have things called posters. So these are great for an introduction. So things to add their name, their group members, their topics. So here's even a math one. Oh, well, obviously you need internet connection. So let me go ahead and turn off my airplane mode. If you need to, it's a great shortcut is to swipe down from that corner and makes it a little bit faster. You also have a screen recording option. Mine is kind of faded because I'm currently using QuickTime so that you can see my iPad, but it's nice to know that it's there. So I can choose that. It'll take a minute to download. And again, let me double tap. So I'm going to add my name here, hit the return key, and talk about my topic. Okay, here's my topic and my name. Oh, I really want that at the beginning, so I'm going to tap this, and then you can always rearrange things. So let me bring that back here. Not too bad. When you're ready, you just have the Sharo over there in the corner, so you can export the project. Not too bad. You have a lot of different, so notice suggestions. There's Seesaw and Google Classroom down below. So students can export right to those as well. They can also save to their camera roll. So they can hit save video. And they can do that as well. Lots of different options. So that's clips. Very, very fun. Keynote is the last one I'm just going to share briefly because you did see it was in red because it does take some time. Kind of go back. So some things in Keynote, you can see I have a couple different options here. But I really just kind of want to show you what it can do. I'm just going to pull open this workbook. So if you're interested in iBooks, you have these 3 user guides. You can get these on your Mac. You can also get them on your iPad. I highly recommend because they have so many templates. It's absolutely ridiculous how many templates. All of the ones that I made in this presentation are actually templates that I found. So this one, I'll just show you this one because it's brief. I just dropped in the background of some handwriting paper. So a lot of teachers always ask about handwriting, so I want them to practice writing something. So that's fine. This works out really, really well. I'm going to bump this over so you can see all my screen. So I'm going to hit the plus sign because I'm always going to be adding something. And then you can see I'm on the 4th icon where you see those little picture frames. And then I would click on drawing. And you can see I can choose from different colors, I can choose different thicknesses, and now I can actually practice handwriting. My favorite thing is if kids want to see how they did their cursive, they can actually choose to animate, and then I'm going to choose the line draw option. So then you'll actually see my handwriting. Really, really great for math if they're building charts and you want them to explain their process like a how-to, because again, the line draw is going to show each step that they took. I'm going to hit the done button. Handwriting is really, really great. The other things that I like, this is a math one, so showing all the possible results for a cherry pie. So I'm still going to hit the plus sign. The last thing I'm going to show you in Keynote, so hopefully you can see you can drop in photos, cameras, recording audio. It's so easy in here, and then the drawing. The shapes is where I feel like the power of Keynote is going to come to life. Again, everything's built in. They don't need to go anywhere else to find the objects that they need. So this one's dealing with pie. Oh, look at that piece of pie. Cherry, I'd love to make this pie red. So let me add a little paintbrush. And then the style, I'm going to make it a cherry pie. And then they can actually click and drag and things over. But lots of things that are built in. You'd be surprised. So I can look up different trees. I can look up snow. So you can see how all the different word problems that kids could come up with while they're doing this. If I'm going to do animals, you can have them drop in shapes and draw polygons. Find all the different angles in the dog that you can. Sorry, I'm definitely a math brain. But it helps. It's kind of fun. There's different scavenger hunts that you can give to the kids as well. So again, record the definition. These are placeholders. They make it really easy for kids because they hit the plus sign and then it automatically inserts. So that's really fun as well. But that's about it. You can kind of see I can pull from a bunch of different places. So you can drop in a picture of a camera. And again, that paintbrush is what's going to let you kind of change everything up that you need. The other thing that I really like, Insta Alpha. So this option actually lets you remove white backgrounds. What? It's so great. And you probably saw that set as placeholder. So now when I send it to my kids, there's that plus sign. What? Crazy. I'm a big fan of Keynote, so let me know if you have any questions about it. Morgan Cave also is a big fan of Keynote. She is our Apple Distinguished Educator. She really can show you the powers that are within some of these Apple apps. I'm also very happy to help, but I will also do a shameful plug for Morgan Cave from our team as well, just because she has such a passion for working with these apps and really knows what they're capable of. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put my contact information up there again, just so if you do need me, feel free to click on the email me button. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on both, just because I love to share lots and lots of different ideas. So please feel free. I know this is a very long video, so hopefully you were a chance to watch or you skipped ahead to the parts that you were curious about watching. But let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm absolutely here to help. I'm going to go ahead and put that link up to the slides one more time. So if you wanted to make sure that you got that before you closed out the video, you had a chance to do that. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and follow the RISDI team on Twitter as well. We share lots of really great ideas, and we'd love to just make sure that we're growing our personal learning network, our PLN, as well. And this week we're actually highlighting WeVideo, so that's kind of fun. But let us know if you have any questions, and we're always here to support you in any way that you need. Have a great day.